and welcome to today's video. So as you might be able to guess, the winners of our Facebook poll were the African Pygmy goats. So I have with me here, this is Paul at the back, so he is our brown African Pygmy goat, and this is Jean, and they are twin boys, and Jean has got a black stripe and he's slightly darker in colour, whereas Paul is very, very brown in colour. So they are about 2.5 years old now, and they moved here to the Ark when they were about 3-4 months old, and they moved here with their mum Bangles. So Bangles is in the background over there just having some breakfast. Now, we knew when we opened the Ark Centre that we definitely wanted to get African Pygmy goats. Having looked after lots of different goats before, I knew that African Pygmies were definitely the correct size to be working around lots of children, and they're also very, very sweet-natured and really funny, aren't you? Now, when we went to go and pick up the boys, we spoke to the farmer because we collected them from a farm, and the farmer, on hearing what the Ark Centre's about and hearing about what we do, asked whether or not we would take Bangles with us. Bangles had a very, very difficult life. So she'd been sold from the farm because the farmer thought that she needed to potentially sell the farm. So she was starting to move her livestock on. And she sold Bangles to somebody that didn't really look after her very well and wasn't very nice. And she sold all of the goats to this person. When the farmer realised that the person wasn't looking after the goats very well, she went to go and buy them back so that she could give them a better quality of life, and her situation had changed and she didn't need to sell the farm anymore. So she went to go and buy all the goats back, and she managed to find all of the goats, but she couldn't find Bangles. So she started driving off and going down the driveway, and then Bangles started running behind the car and was bleating, and the farmer realised it was Bangles, was like, oh my goodness, I need to stop the car, jumped out the car and asked to buy Bangles. Now, Bangles was in really, really poor condition. She had no fur on her, she was really, really skinny, and she didn't look like she was going to survive for very long. However, the person that the farmer had sold her to insisted on the farmer buying Bangles for a lot of money. And Bangles obviously was in a really poor condition, but the farmer didn't feel like she could leave Bangles there, even though it was going to cost her a lot of money to save her. She brought Bangles, she brought her back to the farm, nursed her back to health, and she was doing really well. She had all of her coat back. Then Bangles managed to get into the same pen as the male goat and fell pregnant, and then lost all of her condition again, having the boys. It takes a lot of energy for an animal or anyone to have a baby, and so Bangles ended up losing all of her fur again. She became really skinny. So when we went to go and get the boys and the farmer heard about what we were doing, she asked whether or not we would take Bangles to give her a retirement, meaning that Bangles will never be bred from again and she will live out the rest of her years here. African Pygmy goats, they live typically between 8 and 16 years. It's a really weird life expectancy because it's literally one of them's double. And Bangles is now 10, so she's quite old for a goat. She's started losing some of her teeth, and she's not always in the best condition. We've had a couple of vet trips with her this year, but she's doing a lot better. So she's got her coat back. This will be a real test to see whether or not she manages to keep her coat through winter. She lost some of it during summer last year. So we're really hopeful that she's going to be able to keep her coat this year. We've been giving her lots of different things just to try and help her with her coat condition because she really struggles with it. So you can see at the moment she's looking a little bit tatty. This is where her winter coat is actually just coming out. So this is what all the boys are experiencing, aren't you? I don't know if you guys can see my lovely Paul here. I'm not going to start chewing my headphones. That's a very bad idea. Come here. There we go. So she's doing okay. All the boys are doing okay. Now, just like in all the other weeks, today I'm just going to be telling you a little bit about the goats, and then tomorrow we're going to be exploring their natural diet and habitat, and then on Wednesday we're going to be looking at their adaptations. Now, goats have got some really cool adaptations. A lot of people may not actually think of goats and how adapted they are. Obviously, the most common thing you've seen is goats on the side of a mountain, which is obviously very cool. But the goats have got some really, really unique adaptations, which we're going to be discussing. And then we're also going to be on Friday showing you what they've been up to whilst everyone has been away. They have been having the best time. They now officially think that the school belongs to them. And they have been exploring and having a really, really fun time whilst we've all been in isolation. So I'm sure you guys will be looking forward to seeing that on Thursday. And then on Friday, we've got Ranger Lauren to tell us all about her pet. So we've got a really exciting week planned for you. Now, the goats have actually decided to go and have a wander around to Bruce the skunk. which is fine. That's not a problem. So let's go and see where they settle, and I'll continue to tell you a little bit about the goats. So this is how our goats spend a lot of their day. Once they've had some food to eat, they will then just come and just sit and relax and find a nice sunny space just to digest and chill out. As you can see, our goats are super affectionate. They really, really love having a bit of attention and love. One of their favourite places to be scratched is between their horns. They also really like under their chin. This is a particular favourite place for Paul and for Bangles. John prefers in his horns the most, but for Paul and for Bangles, they really like just under their chin. And as you can see, when you stop giving them some attention, they demand it from you again. So they quite like scratches. Scratches are very, very good for them. Just getting nice and into their fur so that you can kind of scratch their skin a little bit. They're quite a big fan of that. They're quite a fan of it being slightly harsher with the scratch. Boys, are you going to play fight now? What? Boys, you're such show-offs. You're being cheeky. So, I don't think you can actually see, but just out of shot, John is doing a perfect example of how he likes to play with things. So he's actually playing with my shoelace. He is scratching his horn against my boot and pulling the shoelace apart, which is really helpful and is exactly what I wanted him to be doing. What are you doing? So it's fair to say our goats are right characters. The boys in particular, what do you want this? Take a look. There you go. Let's see if I can move my foot to get you a better shot. No, you're just going to start play fighting. Boys, manners. One of the things that Ranger Ian and I say quite a lot is how happy we are that we kept all of their family together. It would have been lovely to have the boys, but having them have their mum here and seeing that their reactions with mum is really special. So Paul, this one, he is a real mummy's boy. He loves spending time with his mum, and being with her is the thing that he does the most. So Jean, the one who's very impressively getting in the way of the camera, he's a little bit more independent, and he will often go and have an explore by himself. Whereas Paul, he is much more a mummy's boy, and often he will be next to mum or behind mum. He does leave mum's side, and he has got better at being a little bit more independent, but if one of the goats is closest to Bangles, it will be Paul. Won't it? You just love your mummy. So I hope you have enjoyed our first day of goat videos. Sean, boys, you're just being such show-offs. They love an audience. We find this when we have school trips or when we have groups of people come into the ark. They often get right into the middle of everybody and then start showing off. They're quite a big fan of doing that. Paul, please don't knock the camera over. So I think this video's gone as well as it possibly can. We're going to leave it there before they happen to knock the camera over. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you are having a lovely week. Tune in tomorrow to find out more about the goats' natural diet and habitat. Thanks guys. Bye.